Daryl, what have you been up to the past 3 years?
Has it really been that long?
I was thinking about it today. I was like, it's been a bit.
I thought to myself, I was like, maybe like a year and a half or so. That sounds about right. But 3 years is quite long.
It's been 3 years since we recorded a podcast together.
Wow.
Yeah. Are you a grown man now? I feel like I grew from a baby boy into a man.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I feel generally about the same.
Yeah. That's it.
I'm 30 now, so I think about things a little bit differently.
I'm also 30. And I feel terrible.
Right?
I think about dying every single day.
Yeah.
Yeah. In multiple ways.
It's not death for me. I'm certainly not afraid of death.
I'm terrified of death.
No.
I want to live to be like 150 years old.
I know that I'm not going to.
Well, I also logically know I'm not going to, but I do want to. Yeah. If you're just tuning in, you've stumbled upon No One Likes the Tuna, which is, by the way, funny story, the world's premier dedicated Fast and Furious podcast. I'm Nick Nocera.
And I'm Daryl Wong. Welcome, guys. It's been a pleasure to sort of serve you guys for these many years. And I know that we've had a hiatus, but...
yeah, hiatus is a good way to put it.
But we're back. And...
back in the New York groove, as I always like to say. You know? I was away, not in the New York groove for a while, and now I am physically back in New York, which feels really good, let me tell you. Yeah, even during the heat wave.
You're right. And I remember we had very similar circumstances, actually, when we initially started this podcast.
Like hanging out in your apartment?
Hanging out. I think the single, basically the first episode we ever did was in my apartment.
Yep.
I moved my TV from my very small bedroom out to my...
communal living
room.
Mm-hmm. You were living with some fucking weirdos at the time.
And it was hot.
It was a heat wave. Yeah.
I mean, that's sort of the tone of the movie as well. It's very hot in the movie.
It looks hot. It looks steamy. There's a lot of, let's say, like, heat waves coming off the streets, you know? Some mirages happening. Some distortion.
Yeah.
I know there's a special name for the mirage on the road that looks like water and then it disappears as you get closer. I don't know what that name is.
I call it the invisible bacon.
Bacon?
It's wavy like bacon.
Bacon?
No, it's the bacon. So sometimes there's like the flat, wet stuff. But then you also see the vertical. You see the vertical
like the heat coming off the.
You see the vertical bacon.
I don't think that's just air. I think.
A scientific
right?
terminology.
Is that just? It's not vertical bacon.
I'm sure it's light getting sort of like distorted through heat.
Everything is light getting distorted through heat and moisture. Our entire human experience is light getting distorted through heat and moisture. Daryl, you're gonna have to be a little more specific than that.
That's the most specific I can get here.
All right. Speaking of names we do know, though, we got a couple of them in the studio today. My boy Jakey Salsa.
What's up, Tunaverse?
Yo.
And longtime friend of the show, co-producer, generally good human being. There's a lot less of them now than last time we recorded a podcast together.
True.
Max Ziskin in the house.
We're back.
We just finished watching The Fast and the Furious, the movie from 2001. And what we do here on the podcast is discuss it in depth, in length, in short, in witticisms, in whatever you want.
Okay.
So what I want to do is, we all took a couple notes during the movie, yes? I want to talk about a couple points you guys had, and maybe we can start with you, Jake.
Okay.
I want to pull out something you want to discuss.
All right. First of all, thanks for having me. I know this is cycle 11
This is
for
cycle
you guys
11,
watching through.
Episode 69.
Yeah. Episode 69, cycle 11. For me personally, this is only my second ever time seeing this movie. I saw it when it came out, 2001. I was in 4th grade. And now it's basically fresh eye viewing.
How did it feel? Just overall in your spirit.
Really exciting movie, you know?
Watching that movie, did you think there'd be like 1,000 spin-offs and sequels?
That was actually one of my questions that maybe I can ask later. It's like, what are the moments in this movie that scream, this will be an 8+ movie franchise?
We need more.
What are the hot points in this movie where you're like, run this thing for the next decade?
I think it's hard for Daryl. Daryl, you can correct me if I'm wrong here. It's hard for Daryl and I to answer that question objectively because I have a very deep knowledge of the callbacks to this movie that they've utilized in the rest of the movie, right? So like constantly in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, they're constantly calling back to pieces in this movie.
Really?
Yeah, and characters in this movie and things.
One thing that is surprising about the fact that they've had so many movies since then is that this is basically Point Break. So
almost shot for shot.
So there was no like Point Break Tokyo Drift. Like they just left it at that and then remade it a few years later.
Right.
There's something about Vin and Paul that just
it's like that's really what it is. It's the chemistry between Vin Diesel and Paul Walker is outstanding.
But then you say that, but then number 2, who's missing? Vin's not even there. He's nowhere to be seen.
That's true. I mean, he did.
I take it back then. Yeah.
He didn't.
If even in number 2 they couldn't bring back. Wow.
They couldn't bring him back for the sequel. They had to get Tyrese in there.
The fact of the matter is they never intended to make a sequel or franchise out of this movie. And it's only in hindsight, right? They never intended to do that to begin with.
Daryl, quit talking in actuality.
Right? They're just like, oh, we're gonna give this one shot. We've got small budget. We're gonna make something here that will stand the test of time. Maybe.
I would love the oral history of making towards the end of Tokyo Drift. Here's what I understand loosely. Towards the end of making Tokyo Drift, the producer Neil Moritz and Paul Walker, who was loosely involved in Tokyo Drift as like consultant producer kind of thing, basically looked at what Justin Lin was doing and the world he was trying to create and like met with him about his vision for this thing. And the three of them basically decided to bloom this thing into a big international franchise. And that's how 4 was born. And 4 really, once you get to 4, you see the visual vocabulary of the rest of them.
It definitely felt like it was treading water until the Lin movies.
Yes. But the Lin movie, Tokyo Drift is a Lin movie.
Oh, that's interesting because in my mind,
You don't think of it because stylistically it's so different from 4, 5, 6, which are the Lin series, but it is. Yeah. But back to 1. Max, you watched this last night, right?
I did.
And then you came in right at the end of our watch through.
I saw the good parts. So that was
What's your like?
The thing that I was thinking about a lot that always comes back to me when I watch this movie is just how fucking long ago it was. And how the cars look
almost
old.
20 years.
It's insane.
It's truly dated.
Yeah, it is bizarre. Obviously, we talk about it every time. They're stealing VCRs. This is
DVD players.
Well,
still dates it.
DVD players.
They're like combo TV, DVD.
Yeah.
It's a product that doesn't exist anymore.
I think I saw an 8-track player in there on the truck.
But just like another great piece of content we all love, The Sopranos, it spanned the pre 9/11, post 9/11, like invention of the whole security state. Like people, like at the end of this movie, a ambulance helicopter comes, picks someone up who's been shot, flies away, and there are no cops anywhere.
Yeah. That's true.
That's true.
It's just the ambulance helicopter. There's no cops. Well, Brian is
Well, he is. Yeah, I guess.
As Vin very clearly points out, you are the cops. But you're right. I did this
for a movie that's bookended by this movie and then with Paul Walker getting killed in a Predator drone strike.
Yeah.
Like we get the full like movement from the joyful 90s to like Empire Battle. What's that Travolta movie where he has the dreads?
Face Off?
Swordfish.
Oh, Battlefield Earth.
Battlefield Earth.
Swordfish is a wild ass movie.
All right, so I was international and I was watching Spanish TV like in Spain recently, and one of the only things that was on was Swordfish and Espanol.
Did it have subtitles for you?
It did not. I just had to watch it in Spanish to figure out.
Is it better in Spanish?
No, it's not better in Spanish.
In España, was it content edited for television?
I want to hear about the hacking scene.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the whole movie. I believe it was content edited.
Well, I'm disappointed.
Sorry, dude.
Yeah. I'm disappointed for you that you didn't watch the whole. You didn't sit your ass down.
I also
the whole movie.
didn't understand Spanish.
Yeah,
so it's like
true.
We're just waiting for the Halle Berry part.
Have you seen it in English?
I've seen most of it in English a long time ago.
Okay.
Enough so that if I catch a scene that's being played to me, I know immediately that Swordfish.
Was Swordfish pre or post X-Men 1? I'm trying to figure out, was it Hugh Jackman's big breakout or not?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to know the answer to it. If you're
This
out
calls for an
there,
offshoot pod.
it's called for listener engagement is what it actually calls.
Yeah, tweet at the pod.
Yeah, tweet at the pod,
Yeah.
at No Podcast. Is it still active?
I was saying, do you guys have a Twitter?
we did have a
We have a
Twitter.
Facebook page.
Yeah.
That
We'll go through it
Nothing's
all,
been
but
deleted.
it'll be
It's all
refreshed.
there.
It's all there. The internet's forever.
The government owns this podcast.
I
At
mean,
least the data from
it's
it.
in the Library
Well,
of Congress.
statistically, one of us is probably an undercover cop.
Yeah, for sure.
1 in 4, man.
For sure.
They say it.
The trucks in this movie, they're inefficiently loaded. So one, you see in the beginning,
There's
like
no
half a truck.
quartermaster.
it already
But
got
they-
robbed.
Actually, the thing I really want to talk about, the main point I took away from this viewing, I want to talk about Mia and Mia's character,
Ooh.
who's basically the best, right? Oh, you got a lot of Mia points rolling, Daryl.
I don't, but I like of the small points I put down. I starred my Mia or Tuna Brewster really sells it.
Yeah, she does sell it.
She sells Vin's character, and just adds the sort of depth and softness
Mhm.
to his character that really draws you the audience, and also is really the thing that converts Brian Earl Spillner into
Brian O'Connor.
Brian O'Connor.
Yeah, from a baby boy
Yeah.
to a big old man. Yeah, he grows up and he understands there's bigger things in the world than your own self-involved shit, basically, including people that you care for and love. I want to talk about a little different vein in terms of Mia.
Mm-hmm.
There's a line in this movie. Brian's eating the tuna. He goes, "How's the tuna?" Okay. He goes in there. She's like, "Same as it was yesterday, Brian. It was crappy yesterday. It'll be crappy today. It'll be crappy tomorrow." You're making the tuna sandwiches, Mia. Make better tuna sandwiches.
Right.
Not only are you making tuna sandwiches, you are the proprietor of this market and cafe, Toretto's Market and Cafe. You own the store. You can source the tuna. You can source the tomatoes, which are clearly on his sandwich. You can source the bread. You could make the finest tuna sandwich in the entire world if you wanted to. And yet, here you are slinging crappy tuna sandwiches.
The whole thing about it is she doesn't have to make good sandwiches, right? She doesn't have to. She knows why he's
Why
there.
not?
She knows why he's there, and she knows why she's there. They're not there.
Is
to
she
make
fishing
money.
for compliments?
It's not that.
Oh, isn't that a weird compliment to
No,
fish for?
no.
You don't
Why
like
is
it
he
that
there?
much.
Is he there for her? This is sort of an existential movie question. Is he there for her, or is he there for Dom and his job? Because his job is to bust Dom, right? As an LAPD officer. But is he there for her, really? As the cops keep thinking.
Well, at first it's his angle in, right? Because if he's showing up there every day, waiting for Dom to say something, he's just, I presume, locking himself in that office every day, right? So he's showing up there. Brian's showing up there every day, trying to get
Dom
Dom.
is locking himself in the office.
Yeah, Dom's not gonna come out. So at first it's like, what's my angle? He doesn't even know it's his sister at first, right? So he's just like, the girl at the counter. That's the only person I can start talking to get anything out of anything.
And he
So-
sees Toretto behind her.
Right.
There's no doubt.
And even the previous days to this that unfortunately we don't get to see. I wish there was a prequel, the 2 weeks leading up to this.
Well, that's an interesting
Just
idea.
prep only,
Yeah.
prepping the case
You've been
only,
here for 3 weeks, Brian.
or just one flashback.
Yeah.
like a 3 week before a prequel. Not when they're teenagers and Letty.
Yeah, no.
Not
It's
none of that.
you've been eating this tuna for 3 weeks straight, every day.
We know you're a cop, okay?
For the past 21 days, you've eaten this tuna. That is psychopath behavior.
Only a cop would eat this.
Yeah, you're a fucking cop. Movie over.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's the direction they want to take it.
I don't know. That's what I would
That's
do.
the story. That's the story they put on the screen.
I don't really. That is the story. The story they put on the screen in one is so vastly different in tone and direction from the rest of the series, right? But actually, it's sort of like 1, 2, 3 are so vastly different from each other and from the rest, from the main block of the series. It's sort of hard to like get a grasp on it in a way. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with that. I think it's unclear at the end of one sort of where Brian's true allegiance is right now. I think it is leaning more toward Dom, but I'm trying to sort of like glimpse into the future and sort of think of moments where he shows more loyalty, allegiance toward the sister than to Dom.
Mia.
Yeah.
The whole like Dom Mia family versus the FBI tension goes on for a few movies, right? Until
Well, it's not the FBI, so it's LAPD in this movie.
Right.
In 2, it's U.S. Customs.
Mm-hmm.
He's working for
Right.
U.S. Customs. In 3, he's not in it. And 4 is the FBI.
Mm-hmm.
And then
he's
criminal.
gone. Then he's off the books.
5 is a criminal. 5 is a criminal, and then 6 they're working for Interpol.
Oh,
They
man.
really get the
Maybe he'll work
they
for the
hit
Strokes in the
cycle.
next one.
I just have no clue where the series is going because I've only seen 1, 2, and half of Tokyo Drift.
You like are in for such a wild
Yeah.
like shift in direction that it's actually kind of I'm kind of excited.
Oh,
for
I'm
you
excited.
if You've never seen them.
They turn it way up.
It's
And
not.
I thought this was at
exactly-
10.
Yeah.
The thing is, but like this is an interesting point because to me it doesn't feel like this is a dial that gets turned up. Like it's not like 4, 5, 6, 7 are like if you took what is here and then twisted the knob, you'd get 4, 5, 6. They're like so tonally and structurally different.
You do bring in like the Rock character, but it's like you go from like stealing a truck full of crap in this movie to like plucking a bank's safe out of it in Brazil and dragging it around the streets.
Yeah,
That's
jumping
dope. Yeah.
in a car from skyscraper to
Right,
skyscraper, right?
Yeah,
Or
totally.
like,
I'm excited.
yeah, Jay, get excited.
I'm ready to go.
Yeah,
I might
this
go
is-
home and just kind of bang out the rest of them.
We are a plate spoiler podcast for all 8 movies at this point.
Yes.
Okay.
That's fine. I'm not
Yeah.
really here.
Paul dies in the end.
What?
Yeah.
It's rough.
Or does he?
Well, that's the thing. Like when you were saying how you were worried about dying.
What about Paul Walker?
Oh no,
I think
yourself.
about Paul
You're
Walker.
talking about yourself dying. And
Yeah.
but even if you die, we'll just Photoshop you on someone else.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm down.
We'll CGI you onto your brother.
I'm sort of down for that. Not my brother. I don't really like. I mean, I like my brother. Just like I'm not. He's an academic in like North Carolina. I'm not.
We'd have to
into
cut his
that
hair.
lifestyle.
So you
need
could
like a
be
cool
CGI.
lifestyle to get CGI'd onto. You know. That's the deal. You want to do shout outs?
Dude, yes.
Yeah? Did you forget?
I didn't forget.
No?
But, on this podcast, we do a segment called
Shout-outs!
where we shout out to products and services
Ooh.
and other stuff that like
Yeah, people, things, operations.
All right.
yeah.
You guys have had a lot
Public
of time of buying
transportation.
stuff in between episodes.
We have.
Yeah.
Basically, anything we're digging, or you can do an anti-shout out where you're really not digging something.
Mhm.
You need to throw it some shade.
Yeah, the origin of this segment truly comes from the movie itself,
Yeah.
where we've got heavy brand sponsorships. And
Big
truly,
time.
I mean, if you think about the people that invested in this franchise early on, they really made out big. you
They
know?
made it out big.
So we can plant our
Nas, Corona, for real.
Yeah.
Nas
Big time.
exists because of these movies. I mean,
Yeah, the
it just
energy
does.
drink.
The energy drink and the
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 whatever it
speed
is.
boosting
The speed booster.
substance. Well, I've never seen Nas in its natural state in the world. I have seen the
What-
energy drink.
okay.
Never
Yeah.
boosted my car with any Nos. I'll
Have
tell
we
you that
gotten to
right
the
now.
bottom of what it does? You guys have to have covered that, right?
It's a heat. It involves heat. We did cover it at some point.
So heat
Not
and
that I can
air and the
remember.
distortion
It, like,
it makes
it
your
hotter, basically.
go faster.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Makes it burn hotter.
yeah. I think it increases like how like the difference between like Formula One fuel and
Right.
like, normal fuel is like the temperature and like
The caffeine
the
and-
explosiveness of it. It like injects into your whatever drive
Sure.
to like
Mhm.
Sure.
make it punch harder.
Wow.
Hmm.
Daryl's car corner.
So Nas is hot.
Yeah, Daryl's the car guy on this show, which shows the level of car knowledge that we really have.
I mean, you need one, right?
So, Daryl, do you want to start us off shout-outs wise?
Yeah.
What you've been cruising on this week? What you've been cruising on the past 3 years?
Wow. I mean, it's hard, man. It's one of those things. I think the only thing I've been cruising on the most consistently for these past 3 years, they've held me down through the heat and through travel and through biking. It's a classic Dickies short. All right.
Ooh,
People are in
nice.
Dickies pants, like they're cheap. You can get them anywhere. It's $20. The shorts are where it's at. Okay. Don't be messing with those pants in the springtime or the summertime. Get your nice pair of Dickies shorts.
For a short for all seasons.
Short for all seasons. And my favorite way to wear them is to like roll them up, get that, show off these nice little.
Yeah, you got great gams. I've said this before on the pod. There are these beautiful hairless gams that I'm in love with them.
See those
know?
knees, Daryl.
Yeah, really shapely.
Pristine.
I've never owned a Dickie in my life, and might go pick one up right before I marathon the rest of these movies.
Boom.
I would suggest against marathoning. We've done it a few times.
But if I do, should I do it in a Dickie?
You could.
Yeah.
Where do you pick them up?
I mean, I get mine on Amazon because I'm a slimmer waist kind of dude, and they don't always stock those in stores. But the biggest part of this is that I didn't invent this myself. You know who
The
wears
Dickie.
Dickie shorts?
Who?
Brian O'Connor.
Yeah,
wears
Brian
Dickie
O'Connor does
shorts.
wear them in his movie. Was that your inspiration for purchasing them?
Absolutely.
100%. So, like, this movie has markedly changed your life.
I would have to say so.
Yeah.
I work for a car company now, and I like.
Good
I don't
point.
know,
Yeah.
Subliminally,
You do fucking work for
we're a car company now.
Do they ever talk shit about electric cars in the series? I feel like they are dudes who would hate
I
that.
don't think they
I
have.
don't think they.
I don't think they have.
They talk shit on computers, like
Yeah.
They
a
don't
lot.
like computers. They don't like they don't like they can be hacked. You know, there's a lot of hacking
Not
that happens
safe.
later on.
Right.
So, yeah, God's eye. They're just not into it. They bash a lot of stuff computer wise. Max, you got a shout out for this week?
I've just been, it's an anti shout out and it's car related. Anti shout out 2011 Subaru Outbacks.
Oh.
Mine has been overheating a lot recently. It's going through the freaking anti coolant like a fucking fish. And just driving over here just now, it overheated and I had to pull over. It was rough.
Really?
Yeah.
And do you? That's weird. I've heard. I feel like Subaru is having a moment. I've heard a lot of people talking about buying one.
Are they having
in
a
my
moment?
life?
Okay.
Yeah, maybe in my life.
The circles you run in.
The circles I run in.
Right.
Big Subaru circle.
Yeah.
At an MZ, a lot of Subarus out there.
In New Zealand, there's less. And they
Subis?
call them Subarus,
Ooh.
and that's not a joke. That is what they
Well,
call Subarus.
They did spend all that money trying to convince us that it was an Australian brand.
Right.
So
but
I
it's
guess
not.
we'd have to trust them on the pronunciation.
Subaru. No, there's some there, but more here while I've been here for a few months. People buying Subarus.
Yeah, and all the
left
engine
right.
shit, it's all like jammed in real tight. Getting my hands, cutting up my hands.
Not good.
Not good.
No good. No good.
Here's a
Don't
hot
get the
tip:
shot.
Uber around instead of having a car.
Yeah, I disagree with that 100%, but that's okay. Jay baby,
All right.
do you have a shout out?
I want to shout out a couple brands that are centric to the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing too crazy in my everyday life, although I be using brands on the daily.
Yeah, we do use.
Hundred-
Almost every day I consume
Oh.
something that might be branded.
Yeah.
A lot of them I like, a lot of them are shout-outable, a lot of them are anti-shout-outable.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, at the top of my mind, I wrote it down early on in the movie, Free Tibet.
Okay.
Have any in your 11 cycles, have any of you picked up the Free Tibet sticker on the back of the yellow car?
Nope.
Who has the yellow car in the gang/team?
Leon.
Leon has a Free Tibet
that is
sticker
so Leon.
on the back of his car.
I mean, Leon's,
And
I'd say of them, the chillest of the group.
Yeah, he's the Richard Gere of the group.
What's the? Well,
is he an activist of any sort, or what's with that?
We at one point thought maybe he was a figment of Jesse's imagination. Since after Jesse dies, Leon is nowhere to be seen in the movie.
Okay. Which would mean free to bet would be deep in the subconscious of Jesse.
Which I could totally see that.
Yeah. But
Which
we
one's
also Jesse is the one who gets killed by Johnny Tran.
Oh my god!
The mechanic.
This is a
Yeah.
comment on like
Okay.
Chinese imperialism.
Perchance.
Oh my
Well, I guess no matter what,
France.
free to bet is.
Oh my god. Offshoot podcast. Wow.
Yeah, so Leon is in favor of freeing Tibet.
Questionable.
When did the movie 7 Years in Tibet come out?
Way before.
Is that
That's
pre or is that true?
I'm pretty sure that's like
That feels like a 90s
early to
movie.
mid 90s.
97,
Yes.
98? I mean, great movie.
Is it-
Great.
Really
Is that-
rep the cause of freeing Tibet, or at least brought a renewed awareness to freeing
Who
Tibet.
doesn't want to be ruled by a child king?
Right, exactly. And
I'm into it.
yeah,
It'd be fun. More
so
games.
maybe that movie had a big impact on Leon.
It was like a hot topic then, I feel like.
In 2001?
Yeah, like the Dalai Lama was rolling around. Like,
that's possible.
maybe.
That's possible.
He was popping in and
All right,
out.
so
places.
shout out to Tibet.
Yeah, shout out
You know?
to Tibet.
Shout out to Tibet. My
And,
my shout out this week is, guys, the World Cup just ended.
Not the one you're thinking of.
Not the one you think of, good old Megan Rapinoe kicking a little ball around.
No.
I'm talking about World Cup cricket.
Oh,
And what a World Cup it was, guys.
Exciting.
It was unbelievable. Nobody's ever seen an ending to the World Cup like that. England, New Zealand, they basically tied, which has basically never happened in the history of cricket. All I can say is I've become a cricket believer. I'm into the sport. It's slow, and then it's exciting, and then it's fast, and then it's wild, and the bowlers.
It's on at the crack of dawn.
It's on at the crack of dawn. Turns out you got to wake up early if you want to catch it when it's being played in England.
Wow.
I've become a convert to the sport.
So who are the Red Sox of the cricket world?
Maybe Australia. If you're thinking about like long,
Just like racists and
racists and like they hate immigrants.
who are like the Kansas City Royals of the cricket world?
It's like hard to define the vibe of the Kansas City Royals. What would you say the vibe of the Kansas City Royals is?
That's a hard one.
I'd say that like India is the Yankees.
Okay.
Like they're just good. They win a lot.
Historic.
Stripes.
Historic.
They were the exact same outfits.
Historic. England won the World Cup on a real technicality.
Ooh.
Yeah. Versus New Zealand. And neither of them have won the World Cup before. But they're both very solid teams.
Right.
And then Australia and India were both in the semis. And then you get down there with Afghanistan, Bangladesh,
West Indies.
West Indies. Afghanistan's like a great team because they're like 10 years old.
Right.
And they,
right.
yeah, they made the World Cup and everybody was sort of rooting
What
for
was the
them.
name of that movie with the football team who all died in a plane crash?
We Are Marshall.
Yeah, they're kind of the Marshall.
They're kind of We Are Marshall of. Fuck, man.
What's your selling point for cricket? Like, what's your tagline? Like, hey, dude, you got to check out
It's like,
cricket.
it's
if I
like
had
baseball
it.
but longer.
Baseball but longer. That's the
Yeah. I don't know if that's putting me in a seat.
Well, here's the deal. One of the things I love about baseball is like hanging out all day.
It's the hot
Okay.
dogs.
You know what I mean? Like it's the hot dogs. It's the hot dog vibe. You
Hey,
hang out
actually,
the sun with your
in
buddies,
cricket, they call them
drink beer,
bangers.
You eat hot dogs. You have a great day, and you get to do that for way longer in cricket. You know what I mean?
And hot dogs / bangers are the food they eat.
Actually, I think meat
hot
pies.
chips, meat pies, hot chips.
So
They
it's
got
the meat
burgers.
pie
You
vibe.
get a nice burger. It's not nice, but it's edible. Yeah. Great sport.
I'm just
Shot
now
master.
imagining a burger at a cricket place, and I'm not.
So mad.
It's not coming together.
All right.
Those things are like hockey pucks.
I just say give it a chance, you know?
I'd love to. What channel?
Max, what else you want to talk about Fast and Furious wise?
There's something about the character, Paul Walker's character,
Yeah.
that it's so hard. Like, what is he doing? Like what is driving him to? I'm just a little curious, like on his background.
Is he seriously a cop?
Like why
did he
the
go
fuck
to
are you a cop?
Did
Yeah.
Brian O'Connor go to the police academy?
I was wondering that. I was trying to picture him in a full-on like squad car doing his thing.
Like imagine like his first couple years when he's like in uniform on the beat. Oh,
Is that you?
Paul just texts us.
Paul Walker?
Yeah, he says he really cared about being a cop previous to this movie.
Just FYI, guys. From heaven, I really
All
want to be a
right, case
cop.
closed.
Yeah, did he go to the police academy? Was he on the beat?
Well, I mean, if we're assuming that the basic beats of Point Break are equivalent,
Mhm.
then yeah, he did. He got a lot of shit for being a good quarterback.
Yeah, right. I think probably no.
He doesn't seem like he'd be a good cop.
No, he not only does he not seem like it,
He is not.
a good cop. He's a terrible cop who like makes friends with all the people he's trying to investigate, lets them go at the end of the movie.
Imagine like on his first day, he walks into the freaking cop car and Denzel's there, and he's like, "Here we go." Like he's not making it through that day.
Are there instances, and let's just keep it within other TV and movie sort of universes, like are there instances where you can just be a criminal and then become a
Like an
Cop.
informant.
from informant to like actual cop?
I don't think that happens.
That never happens.
But in like a specialized case like this, it's got to be a thing, right?
Maybe.
Did Leo DiCaprio go to the police academy in The Departed?
He did.
Yeah, there's like a whole montage.
He went to the police academy, then they sent him to jail.
To get the
Yeah,
backstory.
yeah.
Just like the Brian Earl Spillner's juvie backstory.
You think
Oh
that's
my
real or
God.
made up?
But it's obviously made up.
That's why he looks so stunned
He
when.
was like, what?
But I
he didn't
think
do his job and he didn't learn the backstory.
I think there could
He's back
be
up.
an element to that in his real life. Like I see him at police academy, and
Was he like like at the movie Police Academy?
yeah, he's in there front row. He
The
bought-
dude making all the
yeah,
noises.
Yeah, like night of, midnight premiere. He went to see Police Academy, and then he was like, I want to do that for a living.
He's like,
And then he goes to
"Dude,
the
I'm my
actual
hero."
Police Academy, but he's like a rambunctious dude. He's, he's fucking around. He loves cars. He's always loved cars.
Right.
He just wanted to get his hands on one of these squad cars.
That's an $80,000
One of these,
vehicle, son.
what are those, like Crown Vics, right? The
Yeah,
old
yeah,
school. He just wants to get his hands
Like
on a Crown
souped-up
Vic.
Crown Vic.
So in Police Academy, he jacks a cop car. He does some crazy, I don't know, Daryl, you're the car guy. You know what he probably did.
They
Yeah.
have like a drag race through a in development subdivision, and then he gets sent to live with his dad in Japan.
Well, he
But he's still in the Police
aced
Academy.
the like tactical driving course at Police
Oh,
Academy.
yeah.
Police Academy. Like, he
the
was
man
the
is a
best.
pro at
He was
picking
like, you gotta get your test scores up or you won't pass. But your driving skills are the best I've ever seen.
He's basically
Exactly.
He
he sucks at shooting.
He's Maverick. He's Maverick. He's just like didn't go to
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's Maverick. Just like didn't go to flight school. Just showed up to Top Gun like on day one and crushed it. And now he's a cop.
So it's doable.
I don't know if I agree with any of this.
Yeah, is
Can I
that
put
what
that out
the is
there?
that the plot
I
of
don't
Top
think.
Gun?
It sounds right. I don't know.
I think that's
I don't
definitely
think
the
so.
plot of Top Gun.
Second of all, is Val Kilmer in the new one? We don't know yet. Third of all, I think he's just like a kid who got in trouble.
And they're like, here's
And then
your
they're like,
badge.
you're a
You
cop
have to be
now?
a cop. Right.
Because he is tangibly a police. He's not like a criminal informant. He's not a CI.
No.
He is tangibly a cop.
Right.
But
Undercover
maybe
cop.
Billy Bob from Silence of the Lambs, who is his boss in this movie,
Hmm.
And
Do you think
Monk.
there's a connection there?
and Monk,
And Monk.
and Monk,
Don't forget.
and Monk, maybe he found him on the streets as a kid.
Hmm.
Not that he was living on the
cappuccinos.
streets, but maybe he busted him a couple times. Saw the potential in this kid.
Right.
Took him under his wing, put him up for the academy, made sure he
Vouched
got
for
through, vouched for him, got him into his division, because he really knew he was going places, and that's why the struggle for takes care of
This
gets
guy's
some
an
iced
idiot.
cappuccinos, right?
Because Paul ditches to be a criminal immediately.
Again, immediately.
I got shit.
But
again.
go ahead, Daryl. Sorry.
Yeah, I'll point out the finer point of that relationship, and I hadn't really thought about it until now, is that he's looking out for his actual health and well-being. Like, oh, I thought you quit smoking. Don't give him a cigarette. You quit
Yes,
smoking.
exactly.
Oh,
Exactly.
He's very fatherly.
He's like
Very
a fatherly
paternal.
figure.
Mhm.
He makes sure he's He's well caffeinated and alert.
Decaffeinated.
Decaffeinated and alert. That's right. He doesn't want to get him too hopped up on caffeine because he's got a job to do, right? But he obviously wants to cool him down on a hot summer day with a sweet, delicious iced cappuccino treat. He makes sure he quits smoking, or he's quitting smoking, so he's not getting him any fucking cigarette. Ryan wants. He takes him aside all the time and says, "Don't let that FBI guy get you down. We got a job to do. We're gonna do it."
Now I'm like getting pissed at
Ryan.
Yeah, like you really let this guy down over the course of the movies.
Over the course of several movies.
He comes back. Yeah.
What
He
movie does he come
does?
back in?
I think, isn't he also the boss in Too Fast, Too
No.
Furious?
No, that's the other
That's
cop.
the guy from Sex and the City. What's his name?
The guy
Putty?
whose sandwich he eats?
No, Richard.
No, but the the black cop who is FBI in this one, right?
Yes.
He's customs, right? In the second one?
No.
He's in the movie though.
Aren't those two? Yeah. Frappuccino and the boss dude. Aren't they both?
Not Buffalo Bill. Buffalo
you
Bill is
guys,
not in the
Buffalo
second
Bill is not in.
So Brian got him canned.
100%.
Damn.
God.
He got him super fucking fired. And then in 4, it's all different. It's FBI people, but it's all different FBI people. You know, one guy is off donuts. There's like a lady FBI person.
Wow, that's pretty early for no carb.
It's pretty early for No Car 4. What was 4? 2006?
Yeah.
2007?
We should have that nailed down.
We should know a lot more about these movies than we actually do. That's really there. We call ourselves the premier dedicated Fast and Furious podcast.
It's because it's a shallow
And
city.
we call ourselves like the world's experts on Fast and the Furious movies. We're nowhere even fucking
We've
close.
been on hiatus, but we're gonna get back.
We're
into
back.
it.
We're gonna get
This
back
is
to
our
our
commitment
fucking.
Back in the
to
groove.
universe right now.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
I hope your commitment is stronger than the oath Brian made.
Can I test your guys' knowledge on one piece
Please,
of this?
actually, please.
All right, this is like getting real into the behind the scenes nitty gritty. Universal Pictures, are they distributor only? Did they produce the film? Did they have the concept? Did they own the IP and they wanted to get this made? When did they come into the picture? Because from my point of view, I'm like, this movie looks like a low budge, dirty, technically problematic independent film that Universal just like struck
Like
gold with.
amplified to a blockbuster. This was a summer
Right.
blockbuster.
Yeah.
There's no question.
But like, did they make this movie where some of the scenes are a little grainy and some of the scenes are a little blown out? The beginning is very brown. Very brown.
I think the answer is no. I think the answer is this was made as a blockbuster and to be released as a blockbuster
By Universal.
by Universal.
So they were in on it the whole time.
Yeah, I think so. I think like this is a big budget.
It was
I mean,
$35
go-
million.
Go back to 2001 and watch like other action movies.
Yeah, like Spawn,
You
freaking
know,
Twister.
like Tony Scott shit. Like the stuff is on
Well,
par
speaking
with
speaking
what,
of the
this is just
color
what
palette,
they
it
did.
was very Traffic, like when they're in Mexico.
Right.
Like that drug smuggling movie.
So that was just the look for the time?
Yeah, people
I think
thought
so.
crime is kind of
All that like slow mo,
Yeah.
wavy,
that was
Right.
weird.
choppy,
Invisible
frame shit.
bacon.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen? I don't know if it's exactly the right time period, but there's a movie called Man on Fire.
The
Yeah.
single greatest movie of all time.
Well,
I think
I-
that's just
I believe that was a few years later.
Right.
I used to like that when I was a teenager, and I watched it again recently. It's almost unwatchable.
What?
It's horrific. No, actually, I think
So
it's better now
bad.
because the
Wait, that's Denzel and Dakota Fanning?
yes.
Yeah.
So when you're younger and you're watching it, like, oh my god, Denzel's such a badass. He's
Mhm.
killing all these bad dudes. He's saving things. You watch it again, it's like this is a very damaged guy who's found himself in this horrible situation and is murdering other people who are also like tied up in this like corrupt world.
Okay, here's what I mainly took away from my rewatch.
Crabs in a bucket.
No, is that Tony Scott, who I believe directed that movie right before he killed himself, made a
It was
real
that
choice.
dark. It was that
It
dark.
was made a real choice to like do all this like wavy, like sort of druggy, kind of like you see in this movie where it's like slow mo
Totally.
and like double exposures and shit like that waves around, and it's incessant. It goes through the entire fucking movie. You can't focus on a single thing.
Well, the idea
It's
is
all overlaid and fucked up, and he has like this text, like the subtitles are fucked up and overlaid, and it's impossible to pay attention to a single fucking thing that happens in that movie because it's so heavily like effects.
I got to rewatch.
Yeah. Do it. Let me know if you agree.
What else you want to ruin for me from like 1999 to 2006?
A lot. There's a lot.
In my mind, every single movie that
You wanna
came
watch
out
GoldenEye?
then, perfect.
Turns out, no, you don't.
Oh, GoldenEye is
fucking terrible.
the worst aging I've ever seen in a movie.
So bad.
In GoldenEye, does Alan Cumming get shattered? He freezes with like nitroglycerin and then he just shatters.
Yeah, no, he doesn't shatter.
I can imagine that'd be a
He
rough effect.
explodes. He explodes in the big satellite that they're working on. Yeah.
I don't know what I'm thinking of then.
Cool.
Anyway, all those movies are perfect. 99 to 2006. Flawless.
I think this pod was flawless. I think
Incredible.
we've done a great job. I think you can find us on Facebook on facebook.com/no-one-likes-the-tuna podcast. You can also find us, tweet at us at Nolt Podcast, NOLTT Podcast. Do we have any
I
more?
don't think
That was it, right?
I think that's it. That's our 2 main points.
I'm trying to remember. Oh, you can email us. No one likes the tuna podcast at gmail.com.
Who's checking that?
I do, actually.
Once a week?
No, less than that.
We can push notifications.
No, we'll get some push notifications
needed.
going up as needed. Do we have a Patreon? Are we gonna have a Patreon or some shit?
We should set
I feel
one
like we could get
should.
into
Years
this like
later.
new economy shit. You know what I mean?
3 years is a long time. Okay, the nature of social media.
It's
and
the landscape.
tweeting,
It's changed, Daryl.
it's
Are you
wild.
guys on TikTok?
We will be.
We will definitely be on TikTok. We're gonna be on TikTok.
Just looping
We're
clips from
gonna
the
be IGTV.
Yeah, get us verified.
We're definitely being on that.
Hell yeah.
YouTube.
There's a platform you want to see us on. Let us know.
Let us know.
Send us that invite.
But I also think like we're gonna set up a Patreon. We'll let you guys know.
Some premium epis.
Maybe there'll be a couple special episodes, some premium content. Yeah, that we could release on Patreon. So become a Patreon backer. Back us. Even like 3 cents a month.
Yeah.
You'll get all the access.
Yes.
Just screwing Patreon with the credit card fees.
Yeah, 100%. All right, so 3 cents a month. I don't know if there's a lower limit, but whatever the lowest limit is, that's what we're going to be at for our premium subscribers. And then we'll give you a shout out on the pod, probably too. And then if you want to come on the pod, come on.
Yes.
At like, I don't know,
We're gonna be doing
$4
this.
a month.
If you-
Come on the pod. I'm
if
making them up. I'm making the
If
tiers
you
up.
join the Patreon, we'll give you Daryl's address.
No doubt. Come hang. That's going to do it for me. Anybody else got any last minute, like, wild ass points they need to get on this pod?
Can I pitch you guys 4 alt podcast titles if you decide to change the name ever?
Yes, 100% you can.
All right. And maybe we can vote or you guys can shoot them all down, whatever. Number 1, if you're going to change away from Nobody Likes the Tuna, I
It's
think
No
you
One
could,
Likes the
No One
Tuna.
Likes the Tuna.
Get
I
it
think you
right.
could become I Never Narc on Nobody, the podcast.
Okay. Okay.
Second idea, simple. Too soon, Junior. The podcast.
Exclamatory. Okay.
Number
Podcast.
3, kind of similar to number 2. Streets closed, pizza boy.
Yeah, we do
That's not
like
bad.
that line. We do like Leon.
The podcast.
Leon, all Leon's lines
Yes.
are great. Sure.
And number 4, very simple, An Amazing Machine, the podcast.
These are just your favorite lines from the movie.
Yeah, but they all work as titles.
These are real long titles.
What about Sup With This Fool? Is he sandwich crazy? The podcast.
I'm sandwich crazy. You're sandwich crazy. I think we're about to go get some sandwiches or something like that. And we will see you next week. No One Likes a Tuna podcast. We're out.
Bye.